Howdy. Thanks for joining me today. It's Friday. All the slaves get the weekend off. Woohoo! It's kind of a dark day today, so I'm inside. Got the fire going. I'm bringing the light today because somebody's covering it up. Now this talk I really want to have because it's been a thought that I've been dwelling on that has been really helpful in my life. And as I'm coming to all these certain conclusions and viewing my reality in a whole different light, this idea really hit me. Existence is a love story. To exist in the first place requires love. And whatever love is, we all say we love this, we love that. It's almost like a desire. It's like love is almost like an unmanifested flow of energy in a way. And it's endless. All the things that we could dream about loving here, all the exciting adventures. I'm sure you've been on plenty of adventures in your life, and you got scraped, you got bruised, you fell down, you picked yourself back up. It wasn't that you fell and got all scraped up just to suffer and feel pain. You fell, got scraped up, stood back up again, to grow and to have this experience here of life and existence. And you don't realize that the hardships, the hardest things that you go through here, they're what transform you into the most beautiful being you could be. They snap you out of the blind spots. There's a lot of people in pain and suffering right now. I attribute a lot of it to the medical system, and how it's a predatory system that poisons people, might make them feel good for a little bit, trick them into thinking a certain way, but it's just profiting off of suffering. And in my personal life, I haven't gone to doctors in like 15 years, it's been a long time. It's one thing I have a good grasp on is my own health, what I should be doing, how the body works. So I don't experience a lot of pain in the body like a lot of people do that trust doctors, just to really put it bluntly. Like, if you don't understand how your body works, you don't know what you should be eating, you're not on a path to growing your own food. There's so many things in life that you could be doing to stop your suffering, to stop your pain of the body. I deal with more mental pain, I think, and that's kind of a lot of, it's a big thing. It's like, I feel like you either got your mental pain going or you got your physical pain. But to me, pain, suffering, all of it is just a signal. It's just a alert going off. Like, pay attention to something, fix something, heal something. Pain is not meant to be eternal. Pain wasn't meant to be the entire life experience here. Even though you can see people accepting that reality of pain and slavery, blind, deaf, dumb, just because other people have accepted a false reality doesn't mean you have to live it with them. And that's why I'm so on fire about individuality and everybody coming to their own conclusions here and not listening to tricksters anymore. Because if you do the work, put the effort forward, and are authentic. God, you just got to be authentic about your mistakes. There was no way to be perfect here. There was no way to know everything. You had to come here, learn it, make the mistakes, fall on your face, and get back up again, and then repeat. It's just, they don't know what to tell people who are too afraid to make mistakes, so they kind of stop the flow of energy, they stop the flow of their creation, and they listen to somebody else just tell them all this nonsense, and then they end up in a physical pain body, and then that kind of really makes them listen more, because when you think you're helpless and that you can't heal your body, and you go to these people and they make it worse, and you don't realize that it's intentional that they made it worse. You think it's you, and that I'm a bad person, and that I should suffer, and that, little me. David Icke talks about the little me syndrome that people have. Oh, I'm just a little this, I'm just a little that. I couldn't. Hey, if that's what you say, that's what you will be. So I take the opposite approach. I'm infinite. I can be anything. I'm not little anything, is the truth. None of us are. But you could live in that fantasy and suffer. I don't know. That's seems to be the way a lot of people live their life. It's to not want to be great, kind of afraid of their potential, afraid of going through a little bit of pain. Like, I put myself into painful scenarios in order to grow and to conquer the pain. I don't wait for the pain to slap me in the face and say, you're not paying attention. No, I seek it out. That's kind of the difference in my advice to people. Seek pain, seek hardship, so you can learn from it. Or inevitably, it'll come. It's like it haunts us, this pain and suffering, because it's a part of this experience. There's a reason I'm talking about all this pain. I'm going to got a YouTube comment I want to address in a little bit. But coming back to the idea, existence is a love story. Like, you're here because you're in love with something, okay? And a lot of people might be in love so much with existing that they will go through pain every time they come here because they're so in love with existing. That's one spin-off of it to explain why there's so much pain and suffering. It's because people are in love with it. They feel alive, right? I mean, that's definitely these guys that work out, they get all buff, and they feel the pain, they feel alive, and they're buff at the end of it. It's like no pain, no gain. You've heard that. But people mistake pain as like a punishment. They mistake their suffering as a punishment, and then they think it's something that they deserved. When I'm just trying to say, I think it's only a signal that you're on the wrong path. And there has to be something here. There has to be some sort of mechanism baked into reality to help you snap out of your illusions, to help you from stop doing the wrong stuff. So that's where pain and suffering comes in. It's a simple correction because you're on the wrong path. You've been eating the wrong stuff. It's just, to me, it's not really a mystery anymore why there's so much pain and suffering in this realm because there's so much love at the same time. They sort of neutralize each other. I think about when I was in my early 20s, my buddy Bear and I would go to Buffalo Wild Wings, and he'd always get the hottest chicken wings, like blazing wings, and I would eat like a couple, but he would just be eating those things and sweating, and I'd be like, man, it must be painful. But he started telling me it's a pain-pleasure situation when you have these hot wings. It's like the pain sort of, your mouth goes numb, it starts burning. But if you can put your mind outside of that, 5 minutes later, it's like everything is warm, you're alert, you're on a high. You're on basically a chicken wing high, a hot sauce chicken wing high. But you had to feel all that pain of the hot wings to get to that pleasure. So it's a funny relationship with pain and pleasure here. Like, then you really want to, this just popped into my mind. You got all these people on the internet that like to be whipped and spanked right in the bedroom, like all that crazy crap. It's, so you can kind of see how some people love pain. Like, they enjoy it. It makes it spicy, right? Not me. I think pain's more of a signal to change my direction. It's just a message from myself, because I really think you bring the pain to yourself. Your mind is creating your entire reality. To exist, it just seems like there had to be love involved. And then when you go to how everybody's made, the natural births, not getting into cloning and all that stuff, but, most people that are born were born out of love between a man and a woman having a very intimate time together. It all starts with love. They loved the feeling. They loved each other. And then what a crazy thing to happen. Like another person to pop out after you had an intense love session with somebody. And just how I think everything in this place that's outward, outside of you, is pointing towards something inside of you. Something that's not tangible. That's like an idea. That's like a feeling. Like it's a giant mirror. This whole realm is a big mirror that we're all peering into. It's a great trick. And to kind of realize you tricked yourself into pain and suffering for the fun of the game, whatever this game of life is. It's I think it's pretty powerful. If you can stomach it, if you can stomach your power and realize you're creating everything around you right now. People love to talk about God. I'm pretty convinced God is a man-made concept that just leads people into slavery. And it's like off the charts right now how people worship a God and then they worship a man. And then I hear these people say that their God wrote in the book that they need to keep the government going. And you just see how, like, none of it's spiritual. None of it helps anybody. But it helps this idea of control. Something I've really been focusing on lately is this idea of control. Do I have control over anything? Do all these people that think they have power. Are they in control of anything, really? So I commented on this YouTube channel like a week ago. Accepting the Universe is this guy's YouTube channel. He's great. He he inspired me to buy this book from Seneca, one of the old philosophers. And it's basically like a book of Seneca, this philosopher, advisor to like a governor, writing him advice on how to deal with things in life. It's very interesting. It's very morally based. It's very individual philosophy based. But his ideas are, they're beautiful and they're timeless. So I always watch this guy, Accepting the Universe. I'll put a link, to the video I'm talking about. But he's got his own philosophy style. He's very cut, clean. I'm floating around in all the ethereal, spiritual madness of this place when I have my talks. I try to be as raw as possible and use my own experiences. But basically, I wrote a YouTube comment on this guy's channel, and it got 300 likes. Everybody liked it, but somebody really disagreed with it. So the comment that I put down, and it was one of the titles of my videos: all the experiences in your life have led to this present moment. Stop trying to control this moment and just be one with it. It's like let go of whatever you're thinking about, whatever's going on. Let life flow like cool, clear spring water. Let life unravel itself like a flower. I love that one. You are the seed of creation. So it's this, going back to a couple of videos ago, I was talking about all the experiences that you've had in your life have led to this present moment you're in, and how you should stay in this moment and don't wander into the past. Don't be worrisome about the future. Right here, right now is the only thing that exists. It's if we all lived in this space, it'd be impossible for tricksters and wars and all this spell casting and dark magic to be happening around us, because we would dispel it immediately. We wouldn't be under lifelong spells that drag us into divisions against one another. But so I wrote this, it's like a hippy dippy happy comment, right? It makes sense to me, but it ain't gonna make sense to everyone. So, I had some comments. They're like, I love it. It's beautiful. Makes a lot of sense. But then this person, at Stop Fear, disagreed. So I want to kind of address the comment they made and what I would say to them. Especially unhelpful if the current moment may be horrible suffering. I tell you, be in the present moment. This person's like, my present moment is suffering and pain. Yikes. Basically, it is a trick that some people tell someone who isn't in extreme current suffering to be happy about the present moment. I never said be happy about the present moment. I said be in it. Be there with it. Doesn't it? Not always going to be happy when you're in this moment. There's a lot to deal with. But this is not helpful at all, because when suffering is happening now, this focus on the moment is useless. So it's person's kind of repeating themselves a few times. I didn't know what to write back. You can't just write somebody back something about that. But this is what I expect from the way that I talk, is for somebody to totally disagree and totally say it does not apply to their life. And I agree with them. This only applies to me and people who are on this same path that I'm on. And especially when you look at your past, and if you've been on a spiritual journey your entire life, it'll make more sense. But I don't expect many people to really grasp this concept of living in this present moment and accepting that's what it is. And if you're in pain in the current moment, I think you need to sit with it and face it. And like I was saying before, the pain is a signal. It's not the cause of the suffering. There's something deeper that has not been addressed in your life. There's something that you're ignoring. I mean, you could have simply just, been taking pills from a doctor and you're going to be in pain all the time. I don't know what to say. Like, this is a realm filled with dark energy people that are sucking the souls out of anybody they can. And I just realize, I accept that that's the way it is, right? But in my personal being and the way I'm living here, I can't do any of that stuff. I can't hurt other people. I can't trick people into suffering, right? Like this person's saying it's a trick to get people out of suffering. I don't know. If I could trick you out of being suffering and painful, it's... I think everything is a trick. My words are spells, So I just want to do my best to try and help this person that's in pain in the current moment. It's not going to help to dwell on the past. It's not going to help to worry about the future pain. I just think the only thing you can do is sit there and face the pain and ask yourself why it's happening and what have I done to cause it. And most of all, you must accept it. Like, you got to accept the pain in your life. And it just circles back to this entire video about existence itself is a love story. And realizing it's temporary. If you're in a painful thing right now, this moment, if you can get in this present moment and realize that this moment is here right now, tomorrow it may be different. Maybe the pain can subside. I don't know everything. And the more I let go of control, like I think a lot of people are trying to control their pain, when it's like you're trying to control messages from yourself that are telling you to change your ways. And I don't know this person. I have no idea what's going on in their life. This is just my advice. I never said you're going to be happy in every moment of your life. I never said there won't be pain at moments. It's just realizing in those moments the entire scope of eternity, the entire scope of what you're doing here is much larger than the little pain, the little suffering you're going through. There's so much more to all of this. And quick advice, like if you're sitting there in a Wi-Fi signal near a cell tower, you're spraying pesticides, eating GMO, like there's so many ways to suffer if you're not paying attention. So I don't think that people are suffering that are on the right path. You're gonna definitely bump up against pain and suffering, but you're able to conquer it. You're able to overcome it somehow. And most of my advice is it's for the mind. because I feel like you got to start with the mind, get it in the right spot, and then the body will come along with it. So you get the mind right, the body will be corrected. And then one last thing, I don't know, a couple months ago or so, I made this video about you got to remember to laugh, and I mentioned that Kill Tony podcast. And man, the past couple weeks, I've kind of snapped out of the whole Kill Tony situation, and just realized how fake all those people are. The Joe Rogan comedy scene, Tony Hinchcliffe, right? Him and Redban, and these guys that get on stage and they act like kings. They sit there like kings and they judge people. They tell them if they're funny or not. You kind of realize that's wrong. This isn't comedy. This is some strange judge. And they're very political on those shows, and every other joke is like a racist stereotype. It's not actually funny. So I don't know. It's just I kind of promoted that Kill Tony in the past and been like, hey, look at it and laugh, and you'll get laughs out of it. But as always, as time goes on, you start to realize, like, wait, this isn't what I originally thought. This isn't what I was originally sold. You know, there's deep ego problems with people in this world, and how they love the attention. And it becomes to where it's not about comedy anymore. It's about them and money and attention and fake praise. And so but it's the way this life has worked for me is so great, because it's like, oh, I love comedy, I have to laugh. And I found Tim Heidecker again. Like, I wonder how many people out there have heard of the Tim and Eric Awesome Show. Great job. That was like 15 years ago, or it was a while ago I was watching that show. And now Tim Heidecker, Vic Berger, which Vic Berger's hilarious if you haven't seen his videos, and DJ Doug Pound, they have like a morning talk show. So like I'm replacing Kill Tony with the Tim Heidecker show. I forget what it's even called. It's really stupid, you know. But Office Hours with Tim Heidecker, right? So I'll put some links below. The whole comedy situation, how it's evolving for me. And how it's always funny to realize these things about how the big popular thing like Kill Tony, gosh, it starts off, it seems genuine, it probably was, and then how popularity and money and people's egos and attention whores, it's like they took something that had a great original idea and they used it for their own personal gain. It's not like they're really, like when you watch it now, you watch that Kill Tony, it's all about them and their little group. And if you agree with what political things they think are funny, you know, it's a very judgmental situation, just stepping back and looking at it. And I knew this all along, but I just want to put that out there that, like, a lot of fake comedy out there, a lot of just grifting, you know. This talk kind of went on kind of long, but I hope y'all enjoyed it. I love you.